by Cavani, plays it long. And Big Zuba's going to chase after that one. Tries to be marshalled out by Godin. And indeed it is. The two of them have a little bit of an embrace. A goal kick, 0-0.
It doesn't always end, Juba. You know, he goes and has a big, strong challenge on any centre-back, doesn't care who. And sometimes he comes off better, sometimes he comes off worse. But he always goes and shakes the hands as if to say, look, this is the game, this is the battle. You know, I don't mind it. Give me as hard as you can. I'll take it and I'll give it back, and we should be still friends at the end of it. By the way, I've not seen him kick a ball yet so far in this game, but just the movement of Miranchuk, first time I've watched him play, want him on the ball. I really want him on the ball. I want to see what he can do. He looks like a really nice player.
He's primarily left-footed, plays for Lokomotiv Moscow. He can either play as a number 10 or he can play a little bit further forward as well. He's mentioned his brother, his twin. He's the taller one of the two at 6 foot. And there he is for Russia, just behind Zuba. Cheryshev to the left-hand side, Samidov on the right, Kaczynski and Zobny are the players who are in a central area in front of the back four. Played up forward to Cheryshev, and the ball headed left back who's come in for Zhirkov isn't going to get that out of play. It goes for a throw. So really there isn't as much jeopardy riding in on this set of fixtures. The final set of fixtures in Group A, Saudi Arabia against Egypt. That'll be remembered, as Mark Chapman quite rightly said. El Hadari breaking the world record, the oldest player to feature in a World Cup finals at 45 years of age and 161 days old, beating Mondragon, the Colombian who set it against Japan 4 years ago. But tonight, Group B, 7 o'clock, Kelly Cakes will be with you from our studio in Red Square. Iran, Portugal, that's where we're going to start our commentary. Spain, Morocco, will keep you fully in touch with as well. Basically, Iran need a win, Portugal need a point, Spain likewise need a point against Morocco, so that's in Group B. This is Group A, where these two sides have already qualified, and the ball lacks out Godin, and now with Nandez. Forward on this side, Caceres, back to Coates, and to Godin. Godin is forward, lacks out on that far side, the left, with his long braided hair. Going forward was Luis Suarez getting the run and getting a throw for Uruguay. 0-0, Pat Nevin.
It's kind of been sparring up until now. You know, no, they're not going absolutely full at it, but I think they're trying to suss each other's systems right at this point in time. And at the moment, no one's actually winning it. However, good break here.
Zuba. Cheryshev makes the run. Found. Diagonal left. Ball out to the left, along the ground. Cheryshev, though, is stopped by Coates. And it'll be Nandez who should bring this ball up towards Cavani. And then it went out of play. It'll be a Russia throw on this left-hand side. We've been playing for 7 minutes.
And we've been playing for 7 minutes. I can already see a number of players breathing hard out there. Cheryshev got onto the end of that ball then, held up a little bit, quite well by Juba, and then Cheryshev gets onto it. By the time he's made that 70-yard run, he's completely out of gas.
Commentary team's breathing hard. About the players. 0-0. Russia on the attack. Miranchuk, Smolnikov, Kaczynski, midway through the Uruguay half. Blonde-haired Kaczynski rolls it out. Samidov just in from the right touchline. Russia in all white, playing from right to left. BBC Radio 5 Live. Oh, that was a sloppy ball. Suarez will take advantage of that because Kuchipov couldn't get there. It was a poor ball to Kuchipov. Suarez tries to pick out Cavani. Coming forward. Free kick just outside the area. As it was Rodrigo Bentancur who was brought down. And a yellow card is going to be shown, and that is to Kaczynski.
He's had a bit of a shocker there, Kaczynski, because he was going to give the ball away in the first place, wasn't he? Very, very poor, lazy ball that he played back there to centre-back. Then he tried to make up for his mistake, chased back. Eventually made the tackle, 19 yards out, just outside the box there. Gives a great opportunity. It's one of those ones where the ball doesn't know what to do, because the temptation is to jump. And because it's 19 yards, as they jump, just smack it underneath. You get a feeling it's Suarez for this one, don't you? It's absolutely made for Suarez, this position.
So it's a free kick to Uruguay. It's inside the D. It's 0-0. Suarez is eyeing it up. Everybody's walked away from it now. Cavani's actually going to approach him, and the two of them now are in dialogue. He tucks his long hair behind his ears, does Cavani. 1, 2, 3, 4 paces back, even further for Suarez. The boos and the whistles, the Russian supporters trying to put off Luis Suarez. He scored from a more or less a tap-in against Saudi Arabia. This is a free kick. Suarez files it in low and scores. Suarez finds the bottom right-hand corner. Uruguay celebrates. Luis Suarez with his second goal of the tournament as Uruguay take the lead in Samara.
I thought it would go low, but I thought it was going to go underneath the wall. It didn't need to go underneath the wall. He kept it low. He zipped it to that back post there. And as you say, it was all the way, Daisy Cutter, along the ground. And if it goes into that far post there, the question mark is over the goalkeeper. That's his corner. That's what he should be covering. He's clearly taken a step inside. We actually haven't managed to see a replay on our monitors yet. But in that situation, goalkeeper, that's your side. You've got to save that. Your mistake. Although, a well-hit free kick.
Did you see that? I think it was Ignashevich. There was two Uruguayan players on the end of the wall. Ignashevich seemed to take out the two Uruguayan players doing Suarez's job for them.
Yeah, well, that's actually fine doing that. You take them out there and you leave a gap sometimes to give the goalkeeper a view. So the goalkeeper's got perfect view, hits it along the ground, that's where you should be standing. Except he'd moved. So, I'm afraid only one man to blame there, I can say it.
Well, Luis Suarez scored on his 100th appearance. He's just added goal 53 in his 101st for his country, Uruguay.
I mean, it's comedy of errors.
Yeah.
It's a complete comedy of errors. I mean, giving the ball away needlessly in the halfway line. Stupid free kick to give away right on 19 yards or so. And then the goalkeeper gets it all wrong and covers the wrong side. So, yeah, absolute comedy of errors.
Russia, meanwhile, have got a chance for an early riposte as they trail by 1-0. They have a free kick just in from the right touchline, playing in all white from right to left. The Senegalese referee spotted a little bit of pushing. Ignashevich is just having a word there in the penalty box. Russia have committed everybody forward. It's clipped in towards the near post. It actually goes behind Ignashevich and it's cleared away by Uruguay, and it'll be retrieved, in fact seen back by Kudryashov, the left back, all the way to Akinfeev.
We got unlucky there, I thought, and ball played in low there. Could have bounced anywhere. Chance to bounce behind them all.
Shot, Cheryshev, spilled by the goalkeeper. Cheryshev on the follow-up, turn behind for a corner kick. Snapshot from Cheryshev.
Plan A. Sorry, I was talking. I didn't expect that to happen there. Ball played long. Guess what? Usual tactic you get from the Russians. Up to Juba. He's nodded it down absolutely beautifully. Fantastic nod down. That is classic centre-forward play. Well, it was seen as a bygone era. It's not a bygone era. If it works, and it nearly got a goal.
This will be an in-swinging corner kick for Russia because Samedov's going to take it on this left-hand side. Once again, there's Zuba's making a nuisance of himself, standing right on the goal line behind the goalkeeper Muslera, who managed to keep out that effort from Cheryshev. Uruguay lead by 1-0. 5 live here in Samara.
Referee's having a word with 3 Uruguayan defenders there to say we'll have no more pulling and tugging in the box. I'll tell you what, that's what telling them to stop breathing. Most natural thing in the world for a Uruguayan defender.
Quates was the player who is being spoken to then. Corner kick then, taken by Samedov. Muslera will gather that one in, decked out all in red. Good take, both hands, 6 yards out from his own goal. But you know, you talked about them going long. The third goal was like that against Egypt the other night when we were in St. Petersburg.
Exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But you need to have willing runners coming from midfield. And oddly enough, we were talking before about Miranchuk. He's got to make that run a wee bit more often. Funnily enough, it is Cheryshev who's coming in from the left-hand side that's making that run more often. But if you're the 10, it should not be beneath you to make that run as well.
Well, Uruguay have a good record when Luis Suarez finds the back of the net in World Cup matches, because when he's scored, Uruguay have won all 4 World Cup games. And you look at his record of late, he's now been involved in 9 of their last 16. He's scored 7, and he's also had 2 assists. So we know the importance of Luis Suarez. Zuba goes to ground. Anton Miranchuk slips. brought away by the number 6, Bentancur, for Uruguay, who celebrates his 21st birthday today. The Juventus midfielder, 1-0 to Uruguay. Nearly a quarter of an hour played here in these stifling conditions of Samara.
Just a moment ago there, the ball was played up to Juba. Anyways, he was nudged off the ball and just physically nudged off the ball and got up and got on with it. And you never see that from Cavani. You always get a moan or a complaint when he goes down. Impressed with the honesty of the Russian team so far. Very impressed with the honesty. Just up, going with the ball, hard working. Sadly, it's not actually worked for them yet. They're a goal down, and maybe we're not surprised by that because they are not the quickest, at the back, and that cost them as well, didn't it? No one was quick enough to get to Luis Suarez.
So from that free kick, that's the difference between the two sides. Saudi Arabia in against Egypt is a dead rubber, 0-0. Nothing dead about tonight's games, and as we often do when we've got the opportunity to switch, we will be flexible tonight in Group B. Coverage starts at 6:30 with Kelly Cates, and the games are underway at 7 o'clock. This is a further hour on from where Kelly and Chappers are, with Terry there in Moscow. We're a further hour on in the time difference in Samara, down towards the border towards Kazakhstan, as the ball from Caceres is headed away by Ignashevich. Moranchuk loses out, and there was Bentancur. Coming under pressure was Nandez. Zuba just outside the centre circle. Cheryshev is up with him. Cheryshev holds off the challenge, looks for a ball towards Moranchuk, cut out and behind for a corner kick. Russia looking to try and get back on level terms, have a corner kick as they trail by 1-0.
Yeah, but they're getting into very, very good areas, and again, players getting close to him. It seems to be around those three at the moment: Juba, Moranchuk and Cheryshev. Everyone else is just doing a holding pattern, a working job at the moment. But when it gets to those three, they're holding it well, they're working it well together, and it's led to a few corners and a few half chances.
Cheryshev is going to take it on this near side, the left. It's left-footed, it's curling away from goal. Downward header from the big man Zuba. Bounces down and over and out for a goal kick as Uruguay lead by 1-0.
I got a little bit of stick the other night. Some people were suggesting I was talking about Salah too much, and you'll think you're talking about Juba too much. He's getting the ball all the time. Everything is going through him. And the other thing about him, he's good in the air there. He's really unlucky. The ball was actually bounced and went over the top of the crossbar. Had it not bounced quite so high, it was in the net and there was nothing the goalkeeper could do. The other thing about Juba to note, his hold-up play is magnificent. His link-up play is magnificent. He's a good footballer too.
6'5". He's a big bulk of a lad. Mind you, he's not a lad anymore now. He's 29. His record actually for Russia is quite decent when you look at it. 25 appearances, 13 goals. What you have to take into consideration is that 4 of those were scored against Liechtenstein. Not suggesting he's a flat-track bully.
What's wrong with scoring all your international goals against minnows? Anyway, he said guiltily.
Did one of yours come against Liechtenstein?
1? 5. Not Liechtenstein, but
teams of such an ilk.
Anyway, the might of the Pharaohs in San Marino, what's wrong with that?
Caceres with a throw. Gazinski. Zobnin back to Gazinski. Blonde-haired midfielder out towards the right back. Smolnikov has got a bit of room to run into. And he's urged on by the Russian crowd here in Samara. Plays it forward. Zuba with his back to goal. Holds it up. Behind him, Moranchuk. Moranchuk can't get it out from underneath his feet. And Laxalt will clear. You know that we said that they were going to play with a back three. They're not. Laxalt's playing as the left back. Caceres has switched to right back. Yeah. But they have trained with a back three. But it's just Coates and Godin at the heart of that defence. So they're still playing with a flat back 4. And even the tactical lineup that has been handed out by FIFA said that Coates, Godin and Caceres will be the 3 central defenders, but in fact that is not the case at all, Pat.
It probably stayed back 3 for about 5 minutes maximum at the start of the game, and then they pretty quickly changed it after that. Do you know what? I think that's absolutely superb planning. If I was a coach myself, it's exactly what I would do. Start with one system to confuse the opposition, who would then slightly adapt to it, and then change to what was your main plan anyway. I'm amazed more managers don't do that, just as a matter of course.
That's the voice of Pat Nevin. As here we are in Samara with Uruguay leading by a goal to nil, and Luis Suarez with the goal as he's beaten to the ball there by Ignashevich, who just clatters it away downfield. And chasing after that is Zuber, and Quatez in for the injured Jimenez, just lifts it across to Godin, and Godin taking his time as they look for a sixth successive clean sheet. They've kept 5 in a row, which is the first time since 1980-81. The national record is actually 6, which was set between July 69 and March 1970. However, the teams they've played against: Czech Republic, Wales, Uzbekistan, Egypt and Saudi Arabia. As Nandez was caught, and despite the sight of Oscar Tabarez with his crutches, which haven't hindered him throughout this tournament, he's hobbled his way, leaning on them with his right hand and still getting the instructions across to Caceres. 71 years of age, he has taken Uruguay to the knockout stages in all 4 of his World Cup campaigns, because this is his second spell in charge of Uruguay. He was in charge of them in Italia 90, and battling against a syndrome which attacks, I think I'm right in saying, the nervous system. The 71-year-old doesn't want anything to do with that when he's asked about it in the press conferences, battling on manfully and doing a sterling job for Uruguay, and quite rightly he's known as the El Maestro in Uruguay, who lead by a goal to nil, and as a result will be going to finish top of Group A, because that was the scenario, the only way that they could finish top. And Suarez's free kick after 10 minutes is the difference between the two sides, as Nandez gets a free kick for the Uruguayans.
Yeah, they've not actually had that many dead balls, free kicks or corner kicks, and but when they've had the little opportunities, particularly that one from Suarez, they've made good use of it. Oddly enough, so far they've held very little from Cavani. No great involvement from him yet, which is always a worrying sign, because we know the capabilities of Cavani. He usually takes 2 or 3 chances to actually score, one goal.
Mo Salah has just given Egypt the lead against Saudi Arabia in that dead rubber, the other game being played in Group A. Once again, there's a lot of pushing and jostling taking place in that penalty area. Uruguay to take the free kick. It's curled in from the right-hand side, and Zuber is back there to head it, and it goes behind for a corner kick from that ball that was whipped in from this right-hand side by Lucas Torreira.
Yeah, they look very relaxed about things, don't they, Uruguay? I think they feel to their thoughts, they've got the Russians exactly where they want them. And just in our left eye, we can see that goal by Mo Salah. 2 goals for Mo Salah, and he's not even fully fit yet. Well done him.
Torreira then to take the corner kick for Uruguay, who lead 1-0, right-footed. It's an away swinger. Zuber once again is there, comes out to Laxalt, takes a deflection and goes past Akinfeyev, and Uruguay increase their lead and may well be finishing top of Group A. Took a deflection. It was a significant deflection away from Akinfeyev. 2-0 Uruguay.
That's a wee bit harsh on Russia, let's be fair. It's a deflection, nothing the goalkeeper can do about it on this occasion. The balls came out. I was just saying they've had very few opportunities, but they're making good use of those few opportunities. Well, that's 2 goals up just now. They haven't completely dominated the game by any stretch of the imagination, but they've got quality players in attack. They've got a little bit of luck with them as well. The ball is smashed in there, and it comes off one of the defenders. Is it Cheryshev?
Cheryshev, yeah.
I don't think he'll want another goal at this point in time. It's an OG for him. Maybe he could give it to the striker there, but I'm not sure that's going to even reach the goal, because it wasn't particularly well hit on that occasion. But it's a bit of a downer for the crowd, because they were getting behind the team very, very well there, but taking deflection, it's almost hit the inside of the post. Nothing Akinfeyev can do about it.
Wait to see whether it's actually credited to Diego Laxalt, because if it is, it would be his first goal for his country, or whether it goes down as a Cheryshev own goal. But Uruguay are 2-0 up here in the heat of Samara. And Uruguay looking to win 3 group games. They've never actually won all 3 group matches since the change in format, because in 54 they only competed against 3 nations. So they're certainly in fine form. They're scoring goals up front, and more importantly, they're keeping it tight at the back. Yet to concede, remember, in 2018 World Cup.
I think that's a statistic that many of the Russians really don't want to hear just now. You need to try and get 2-3 goals. Well, 2 goals really. And against a defence that looks perfectly organised, capable to go back into a back 3 now if they fancy doing that and killing the game completely. They're not showing us any signs of doing that yet, though.
Just looking at the giant TV screens at either end of the stadium here in Samara, and it was interesting that although it said 2-0, Suarez 10 minutes for the first goal. They actually haven't put up who scored the second. But Uruguay 2-0 up 25 minutes in, and all of a sudden now the heat is a factor, because they won't want to expend too much energy trying to chase a game. You wouldn't think when you're thinking they're already through.
Yeah, and in many ways, you know, it's exactly the same for both sides. The Russians thinking, should we go and absolutely destroy all our energy now? And a game like this, and a day like today, when it's unlikely it's going to develop anything, you know, and the Uruguayans, why should they chase it? There is no need for them to chase it just now. And I was just about to say it's taking the wind out of the sails of everyone in here, but there is not a breath of wind here to take out of the sails.
No, there isn't. And there was just a cry from the Russian supporters as well, almost in defiance, as they're still firmly behind their side, despite trailing by 2-0. But still, it's a Russian side that has exceeded expectations. The crunch game was always going to be against Egypt, where we were the other night in St. Petersburg. They came through that to book their place in the last 16, as that was a little bit late. Nandez on the left back, Kudryashov, and that'll be a free kick as Russia trail by 2-0.
I mean, it's quite early to say yeah, Ian, but you got to think they need to go back before half-time if they're going to make a game of this, because you can just see the Uruguayans killing this game off. You know, sitting back a little bit, wanting to play in the break, and they know they've got the pace of the defence. Ball in field.
Zuber. Moranchuk couldn't take it into the penalty area. Stopped by Nandez. A little bit late there. Smolnikov on Cavani. Uruguay will try and come forward. Smolnikov is back. He goes to ground, and the referee will actually say that that will be a yellow card, will it, for the Russian right back? Yes, it is, for the earlier foul on Cavani. Good refereeing from the Senegal referee as Smolnikov is booked and joins Gazinski in the notebook there. 27 minutes played.
What on earth are you doing, Smolnikov? You go and thump through a player at the back. The referee's said play on. You know you're probably going to get a yellow card, eh? So what do? You run away and boot the next player that you get near to as well. I think Russia blood to the head there for the Russian. That was utterly stupid.
27 and a half minutes played. Russia trail by 2-0. Akinfeyev strikes it downfield. Moranchuk back to Zobnin. They've given the ball away. Suarez in field now. This is an opportunity to increase their lead. Cavani from close range after Bentancur's effort was partially stopped, and Russia will deal with the danger, and now they can break through. Smolnikov, but Uruguay threatening a third. That's what they've got to be careful of, because they have built up momentum, Russia. If they are going to suffer a defeat, they don't want now to make it a heavy defeat, to kill any optimism that had been built up here in the country of Russia.
You know, it'd be really, really sad if it happened to them, but the way they're playing just now, you know, they've got 2 centre-backs and they're marking man for man against Suarez and Cavani. That's far too dangerous. They're not good enough to do that. If you do man-on-man on them too, you're going to lose goals. You're certainly going to lose chances, but you're almost going to lose goals as well, because Cavani fancies getting on the score sheet again, and well, we know Luis Suarez likes the odd goal, and he'll not be very, very happy that he's not in the running at the moment for the top goal scorer.
Cheryshev tries to cut inside. Kudryashov is behind him, lifts the ball in too deep. Samedov have made the run towards the penalty spot area, and as it goes out towards that far side, the Russian right, it'll be cleared away by Laxalt. Caught square, the back two. Uruguay in with Suarez. Ignashevich did just enough to back to Akinfeyev. but the two central defenders were exposed because both fullbacks are pushing up.
Well, I hardly got the sense out. You'd seen beforehand, you can't go like that against quality players like that, because all it takes is one lump forward. And Suarez, he's lightning quick, he can go onto that. I mean, that's two great chances they've actually had in the last 2 minutes. Well, they're already 2-0 up. That is really worrying times for the Russians at the moment.
The fullbacks keep going forward for Russia. Smolnikov on the right, Kudryashov on the left. So effectively at times it's 2-on-2, and you'd back Suarez and Cavani every day of the week against Ignashevich and Kutyapov.
Actually, it's one of the first things we talked about when Mark came to us at the start of the game. The fact that they'd left their best, who I thought was the best player in the first couple of games, out, Mario Fernandes. He's the right fullback, and we know at left fullback they've got real quality as well. So both of those players have been rested, if not maybe even injured for this game. You've brought in two lads that have not played sensibly at all. So just one in the book. Do you know when the right back goes, left back stays? They're not doing that at all.
Zuber, Gazinski, Smolnikov joins the attack now from right back, midway through the Uruguay half. Goes short and square. Gazinski plays it forward. Unable to get that ball under control was Cheryshev. Kept alive though over on that far side with Samidov. Making the run forward is Zobnin. Zobnin goes down under a challenge. Free kick for Russia, trailing 2-0 as we have 15 minutes to go to half time. The temperature must just be under 32 degrees because they're yet to have a drinks break.
Yeah, it's a bit harsh on them that, because it's boiling out there. And just a moment there, the referee's given a free kick on the far side. They're a very dangerous area. They will put the ball in, the Russians. What kind of jumped out to me right away is the assistant referee is over the far side and just yards away from it, facing the play, gave nothing.
Samidov's going to take the free kick, right corner of the penalty area. Oh, the referee's been pedantic. Does it really matter? It's behind the white line. Oh no, there we go. Now he's happy. He is a chief inspector of customs back in Senegal. He might like things.
So he became a referee to become popular then.
Free kick. Uruguay have everybody back. They're leading by 2-0. Samidov goes deep towards the far post, over the head of everybody. That'll lead to the frustration of those all in white for Russia who'd ventured forward as it curls out of play for a throw. Uruguay 2, Russia 0. 13 minutes to go to half-time. Pat Nevin.
I tell you what, Samidov is getting daggers looked at him there for about 3 players. Obviously, Juba won't be very happy that Ignashevich had come up, so had Kutyapov. They've run 60 yards for the guy to lump it over the top of them. I think they might have a word at half-time. You don't want to do 100 yards doggies at this point in time for a bad ball like that. It was awful.
So Uruguay going to finish top of Group A as it stands. That means they would face the runner-up from Group B in Sochi, and the Russians would head to the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow for their last 16 encounter against the winners of Group B, and that's to be decided tonight. Coverage at 6:30. Spain, Portugal, Iran still have a possibility, but remember they need to beat Portugal. Only a win will do, and that's where our commentary will start from 7 o'clock tonight on BBC Radio 5 Live. And tomorrow's offerings, Group C and D, and in particular Group D. Argentina, can they do it? They're against Nigeria, Iceland against Croatia in Rostov. That really is an enticing group, because we've seen Argentina and they have struggled. Uruguay though, very, very solid. Yet to concede, leading 2-0. Caceres forward on this near side, the right. 12 minutes to go to half-time. BBC Radio 5 Live. Back with Coates. And just keeping it at a nice, steady, slow pace as the job is done effectively at the moment for Uruguay. Just keep their concentration, Pat Nevin.
Utterly controlled play at the moment. And it's got not complicated stuff. It's almost like a 4-4-2. You know, the simplest system you can just about play. They've got about 4 or 5, 6 players maybe who can come in and settle into all those areas. Maybe not quite so the front.
Makers like that. Whether they both want the ball. They both want to score. They both like to get the golden boot. They both want to be the top man. Doesn't always work out. They've got 2 great strikers and they play well together.
Well, they almost made a hash of that clearance, Russia. Ignashevich gave it away, but he was helped out by his teammates. They've won it back, and Cheryshev goes for this sweeping left to right ball, and he swept it a bit too hard because he wasn't able to keep it in play on that far side was Smolnikov, so that'll be a throw to Uruguay down the left, and Laxalt, who's caught the eye already down that left side, plays for Genoa in Serie A with his trademark dreadlocks, plays it downfield. This time it doesn't find Luis Suarez, it's headed back to Akinfeev, and he sets Russia on their way. 11 minutes to half-time, Uruguay 2, Russia 0. Very entertaining so far. The ball is played forward down the left for Russia to Kudryashov, helped on by Cheryshev. Zhuba goes for it. He's pushed his man over, and that'll be a free kick to Uruguay. He looks at the ref as if to say, what did I do? I mean, his natural game is physicality.
He was late getting there. He was too slow. He was beaten by a bit of pace there.
Lucas Torreira, the player who went to ground. And Uruguay in no hurry now. They quite happily get to half-time at 2-0 up. So the ball is put down, and their goalkeeper Muslera just ambles up towards the ball, boots it long down the right-hand side over the head of Cavani, who is being closely watched by Kudryashov, the Russian left-back. And it's out of play for a throw.
Suarez, though, we've seen him running for that. He's looking for the flick, running all the way across the line, man, all the way across. And he's unlucky. He almost got a foul there. It's a classic that you nick it off the defender goes to clear it, and you kick the striker, give a foul away.
Uruguay again down the left with Laxalt, knocks it past the fullback, and he's quick. Laxalt, he's gone to ground. Now Smolnikov's already been booked. This is going to be a second yellow card, I think. He looks to the heavens, he's going to go here. Crazy defending from Igor Smolnikov. The hosts are down to 10 men. He's been booked again for a very similar challenge. And what an advantage for Uruguay with 9 minutes to half-time. They're 2-0 up, and they have an extra man.
It's just a ridiculous challenge. You know, he knows he's been booked. He knows that if he gets another one, and he's got to send him off. The referee's got it right. Straight away, I'm thinking if he has been booked, I knew he'd been booked, he's off. He's not happy about it either. What a little Smolnikov think about it. It's a moment of madness. But in amongst all of this, you've got to keep calm. We've said before, this game doesn't really matter in terms of the result, in terms of them going through to the next round. And either way, it looks like Spain or Portugal, so it doesn't really matter. They'll be missing it now.
Well, he'll be suspended for the next game, as you say, Smolnikov, who only came in just to get some game time today. Mario Fernandes, their Brazilian-born right-back, thought he was having a rest today, but now he's having to come on.
He's making a sub now as well, so not only does Smolnikov suffer from it, somebody else is going to suffer. Yeah. I don't know, they might go 4-4-1 up top.
Uruguay free kick. Tried to hoik it to the far post as Torreira got it horribly wrong. Suarez nowhere near it. So Mario Fernandes, the fullback I was talking about, who, as I say, probably thought he was going to get a rest today, having started the first two games, but he comes on here, and Denis Cheryshev, the unlucky man, who is substituted. I don't think he'll be thanking Smolnikov in the dressing room later.
No, he might be looking. He's played very well in this tournament, though. You wonder whether you think, well, he's going to play in the next game. Yeah, I'll take him off. I don't know. You never know what we're thinking. Coaches, managers. You know, we can all look at it and think somewhat different. He's unlucky because he's done okay.
Well, it's all gone rather wrong for the hosts in this game. The crowd was so vociferous in the first few minutes, but they're 2-0 down, and now they're a man down as well. And the referee there, Malang Diédiou from Senegal, has got it absolutely spot on. Had no choice, really. And Uruguay now will, well, the likes of Suarez and Cavani are thinking, here's a chance to get some goals.
Yeah, you know what, Gary, it might prove harder to score against them now, because I'm not so sure they're going to throw the same amount of players forward. They look like they've gone to two banks of four, and they've got Zhuba up front.
Of course, if you're the Russian coach, you're thinking what we don't want here is to lose 4 or 5, because they've built up a lovely bit of momentum. They've got the country right behind them with those 2 wins.
Well, you know where you're going. You've had one sent off. You get beaten 2-0. You know, one was a good goal, one's a deflection. You're down to 10 men. If it stays at 2, you'll be thinking, you know, that's not so bad. If you get beat 5 or 6, that's a hard one for everybody to take.
Yeah. Things looking good for Uruguay, though, if they want to top the group. They need a win to do it, and they're in a a fabulous position. Samedov down the right-hand side, challenged by Godin. Fairly enough.
He tried his best to get a free kick, didn't he? He's holding on to it, look, he's desperate to be pushed. Go on, somebody kick me, somebody foul me.
Eventually went to ground by the corner flag, and nothing. And the ball played forward down the left for Uruguay. And straight out of play, actually. So that'll be a throw to Russia down the right. And it's the man who's just come on, Mario Fernandes. Turned down Brazil at the age of 21, Fernandes. Now very much part of the Russian first 11 picture. Not too many turned down the Seleção.
I bet you've never said that too often, have you?
Absolutely.
Turn down Brazil.
As the ball was played inside by Uruguay in the centre circle with Bentancur. Right-footed ball out to the left. Russia try and build again. Cavani right-footed back to the centre circle again.
He could make this game a non-event here. This could be, 9 men behind the ball, not chasing it up here at all. It's going to be very hard for them to break on them because Juba can hold it up, but he's not got great legs in terms of getting up the pitch. And just not wanting to get done now by 4, 5, 6 goals.
And perhaps Uruguay thinking, well, let's conserve our energy for the last 16.
Yeah, they'll just try and pick a hole in, and they'll want to keep hold of the ball, I would think.
We're 5 minutes away from the interval. Uruguay leading by 2 goals to 0, courtesy of the free kick from Suarez and the shot from Laxalt, which was deflected in cruelly by Cheryshev, who's since been subbed. Red card for Igor Smolnikov for 2 yellow card challenges. And they're jeering because Uruguay are just in possession in a non-threatening area, not doing anything with the ball, and there's no real impetus for Russia to go pressing. Oscar Tabarez, the 71-year-old coach of Uruguay, who's got crutches at this tournament because he's got a bit of an injury himself at the moment. He'll be sitting there quite happy, I should think.
71.
Oldest in the tournament, yeah.
There's hope for some of those young things yet then, isn't there?
Well, you can't buy experience, can you? Now, Uruguay 2, Russia 0. In the other game, we've already told you that Mohamed Salah has scored. Saudi Arabia have had a penalty saved, so it stays 1-0 to Egypt.
Zuba got offside, wow. He's look.
That game, by the way, is over on TalkSport 2 right now. Yeah, Zuba flagged offside down the left-hand side. It could be a thankless task for him for the rest of the game.
I'm just trying to look and see whether Uruguay have changed. They've now still got the 3 centre-backs, have they? Or they've gone to 2.
Well, it would certainly make sense to go to 4, wouldn't it?
It looks like they have. They've got the
stick Cáceres at right full-back.
Yeah, there's the 2 centre-backs, I think they have.
Yeah, there's Coates and Godin.
Two sitting midfield players they have.
Yeah, Coates alongside Diego Godin, who has the ball now, the Uruguay captain. He rolls it into the centre circle, up towards Suarez, and there's a foul there by Bentancur on Samedov, just outside the centre circle, so that'll be a free kick to Russia. Of course, a lot of the pace, tempo and urgency has gone out of the game now since that red card, and you can just sense a little bit of flatness amongst the home support, understandably so. They need something to give them a lift.
Well, equally we're saying about Uruguay saving their energy. Russia won't want to make this game an end-to-end game, so there's 10 men chasing, their 9 outfield players chasing the ball and just be getting absolutely run into the ground. They won't want that. I'm telling you, I think they'll take this now. Yeah,
I totally agree. Ball played forward by Kudryashov down the left. That was a hopeful diagonal, really. Headed away. Zobnin picks it up, tries to lay it off for Juba, who's certainly not a winger, and he needed to be to keep that in play. And it's behind for a goal kick.
By all means, when they get up the pitch and they can keep it, they're going to go forward and try and score. But when Uruguay have got the ball, they'll just sit in, make it hard for them to play against, make it nice and tight. And I think if the referee blew the whistle now for 2-0, they'd be thrilled.
Both sets of players would be happy, yeah. Fans might feel a bit shortchanged.
Yeah, and it's not going to make it great viewing, unfortunately.
Interesting to see what the coaches do at half-time.
The third game, Gary, in every every tournament that comes around, if you have a dead rubber, you know, I know this wasn't, see who could win the group, but you very often see some poor games.
Stinkers,
game,
absolutely.
Stinkers is probably a better word there, actually.
Laxalt plays it back to Godin. We're in the 45th minute here at the Samara Arena. That's Coates who gets it out to the right-hand side. Played in field by Uruguay. Out to Bentancur, who's been dispossessed. He's had a disappointing half, really, the young man, after starting the tournament so well. He'll hope for better in the second half. Godin plays it up towards the edge of the centre circle. And Cavani tries to turn but is dispossessed, then has to come back to try and win it back, which he does. And there's no real urgency from Juba to run forward again.
You see, even Uruguay have got these technically good players. How difficult it is when 9 of them have just dropped off and said, right, have the ball, try and play through us, we're going to be nice and narrow, nice and tight, get no depth, you know, they can't play around you, through you. It's just, and they slow it down, and of course once they slow the ball down and the momentum goes out of it, the pace out of the passing, it is so tough.
Yep. We're into 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half here. Luis Suarez with his back to goal, lays it off. Bentancur goes back to Nandez. Now Cáceres down the right.
You need the opposition to attack you. You need the opposition to press you so they can play around you. It's not happening.
They're not really interested in doing that, understandably so, in the circumstances. It's Uruguay in possession with Nandez down the right-hand side. Big burst of acceleration, but Zobnin tracks him back, the screening midfielder, and gets tripped from behind, so it's a free kick to Russia.
I think he went down. I'm not sure they got a penalty if he'd been going through for that one. In fact, not
easier to give a free kick, isn't it, to the opposition in the penalty area?
Oh, that could have gone to VAR. It would have been. I thought he'd thrown himself to the ground, but
he certainly bought that one.
Yeah.
1 minute of stoppage time gone, and Igor Akinfeev will take the free kick over halfway. Zuba tries to help it on, but to no one in particular, and it's Kudryashov who picks it up. We're in the second minute of stoppage time here. Uruguay leading by 2-0, and you wouldn't be at all surprised if that was the full-time score as well, the way things have gone since the red card. Big booming clearance from Akinfeev. Zuba with a lovely touch to lay it off down the left. It's rolled inside. Can they make something happen here? Cáceres steps in and prevents anything from happening for Russia, and that's where they'll try and hit them on the counter. The eventual ball in field for Uruguay was a disappointing one, and it ends up at the foot of Zobnin, who goes back to Akinfeev. He kicks along left-footed up to the halfway line. Last attack this of the half. It's Samedov inside right, out to the right-hand side again, goes for the return ball, right side of the area. Can they get the cross in here, Russia? Corner of the penalty area, laid off to Moranchuk. I'm not sure if they realise we're right at the end of the half. The cross doesn't come in, and the half-time whistle goes. So, Uruguay in complete control here. Luis Suarez with a free kick from the edge of the box, drilled low past Akinfeev for 1-0. Laxalt from the other side of the penalty area, drilling low off Cheryshev and into the other corner past Akinfeev for an OG. And then a couple of moments of madness from the right back Smolnikov to get himself sent off. 2 yellows, and since then it's a bit of a game of chess. Uruguay, as things stand, topping the group. At half time it is Uruguay 2, Russia 0. Thank you, Danny. Second half just underway, with Uruguay playing from right to left in their light blue jerseys, black shorts and black socks. Remember, Russia down to 10 men following the red card for Smolnikov, so plenty of opportunity here, you would think, for Uruguay, who've never won all 3 group games before at the World Cup. They surely will here, as Suarez picks it up and is brought down about 3 yards outside the D. His first touch wasn't great actually, but the defender made it easy for him. It was a simple task for Suarez to go over once Kutepov left his foot in.
It's that poor first touch that brings the foul, because
yes.
If he'd have got it under control, the defender wouldn't have done it. He's knocked it away from himself, and then he's gone after it, and the defender thinks he can nick it, and of course he's kicked him.
Well, there's been a
He's kicked
conversation
Suarez.
between Suarez and Cavani here, and Suarez has already scored a free kick in this game, of course. Cavani couldn't get to the ball quick enough once the free kick had been given, and I think he's thinking this is a chance for me to open my account in the tournament. I mentioned before, 2 in 14 World Cup games. Disappointing for a player of his quality. The wall is going to be inside the penalty area. Well, that's bizarre because the referee's drawn a line with the fake snow outside the area and has then drawn a second line, having moved the ball. So
I have to apologise, Gary. It was Ignashevich, wasn't it, that pushed the two guys out of the
Yes,
wall?
we had a
It
look.
wasn't Zuba.
it's Cavani right-footed straight into that wall. I think it might well have hit Zuba in the wall. Yes, when we looked at it another time, it was Ignashevich, wasn't it, who nudged the two players out of the way, creating the hole for Suarez. Crazy defending for a player of his...
Well, I got his name wrong, but not quite as badly wrong as he got.
No, that's right, he got it right much worse. Absolutely crazy. Godin with the layoff. It's given away by Uruguay, and once it's pumped forward by Russia, no one shows any great urgency to try and get on the ball, and Uruguay have it. They've gone back to the formation that they started the tournament with a back four. It's not quite an orthodox 4-4-2 because they don't have anyone really who's a natural left winger, so they're relying on Laxalt to push forward down that left side. It's a narrow midfield, and then Cavani and Suarez up front, and one of them usually drops off, usually Suarez.
Yeah, you find one of the midfield players as well. If Laxalt goes forward, one of the midfield players will slide in behind him and just give him that cover.
Russia essentially now 4-4-1, and it's a long half coming up for Zuba.
It's a long half coming up for you as well, Gary. You're trying to make it interesting. Sorry, guys.
We'll make it sing, Nick. We'll make it sing. Edge of the centre circle. Uruguay have it with Vecino. The right-footed ball out to the left for Suarez, who lays it off for Bentancur. He can't keep the ball, and that's partly because of some very good defending by Russia. And it'll be a free kick, I think, just outside the penalty area. 3.5 minutes gone in the second half. You're listening to Talk Sport. Uruguay 2, Russia 0. Remember, the other game in this group between Egypt and Saudi Arabia is live over on Talk Sport 2 right now. It's Bentancur, who was challenged by Samedov, and that's an easy decision for the referee again. Another free kick to Uruguay, to Russia, should I say. Akinfeev takes in the right back area, long diagonal ball up towards Zuba on the edge of the penalty area. He did actually get a slight touch on that, hoping that someone would join him. Miranchuk did, but belatedly, and it runs straight through to Muslera.
I'm afraid that might be their best way forward of getting something out of this game, by playing up and off Zuba and getting a runner and maybe getting a free kick or getting something edge of the box, because they can't get a press on and win it back. So they have to wait until Uruguay pretty much get into their half and then win it back. And then it's difficult for them to get up the pitch.
Laxalt for the Uruguayans, leading here by 2-0. Goes back to Torreira, forward by Hernandez, up to Vecino, who goes out to the right-hand side, and Cáceres. Back to Matias Vecino again. He's looking to play that early ball into the penalty area. Bentancur made the run, but it was too much on it, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
It was a great run off the back of the defenders. I was thinking when we talked about being interesting, it's up to Uruguay to make it interesting for sure. I said Russia are not going to be adventurous at all. They'll sit in, try and... I said half time they took 2-0. I'm certain they will now. Just don't get slapped.
Yeah, totally agree. Zuba with the little layoff. It'll be cleared by Laxalt. Oh, there's a coming together there. The referee had a look. He was going to give the free kick to Russia. He played an advantage. It was given away by Fernandez, and so he has given the free kick.
I thought he looked at it. He went for the free kick. I don't think it's a free kick.
Well, the referee has pulled it back, and it's about 45 yards from goal down the right-hand side. And well, we've already seen one free kick from Samedov, which was pretty hopeless by his standards. Can he do better with this one? It's a chance to just curl it diagonally into the box. There's a huge crowd of players on the edge of the penalty area here with 51 minutes gone on TalkSport. Uruguay 2, Russia 0. Final group games in Group A. And it'll be Samedov, right-footed high to the far post. He's done the same thing again. I can't quite believe I'm saying it, but it's actually gone behind again for a goal kick.
It's an awful delivery. The referee, I've seen him before, he goes in and tells the players when they're going to stand offside, that he's watching them, that they're going to stand offside and they block the defender running back into the box. It makes no odds though if you get that kind of delivery, because there's no chance, you're never going to score off it.
One thing that Oscar Tabarev might be thinking about is changes himself. With the game, you would think virtually won. Chance for some of the other players in the squad to get some game time ahead of the last 16. He certainly sent them all out to have a warm-up. 7 minutes gone in the second half at a packed Samara Arena. Very impressive stadium. Here's Cavani from the flick on, but he's not getting much joy in this match.
He pulled him back.
Yeah, a pull back on Kutupov. And a free kick to Russia, just on the edge of their penalty area, down the left-hand side. No real urgency in the game.
You know, you think about Uruguay, you think, go on and take. They're not bothered. They need Russia to be urgent. They need. It's got to be two of them. We see it even in games when one team just sits off. It makes it really difficult to play against them.
Here's Zuba at the top of the centre circle. He's held it up really well there. There's plenty of white shirts forward if they can work this right. They haven't had much possession so far in the second half. That ball's hoiked to this near side, and Mario Fernandes just guides it down the line to Samedov, back to Fernandes. The two exchange passes. Is there a cross at the end of it? Fernandes again. He's played the ball nicely towards the dead ball line. The cross comes in, which is less than convincing, but I think it did actually go behind. Yeah, did actually go behind. So it'll be a goal kick. And Russia, by the way, did actually bring on Dala Kuzayev of Zenit a moment or two ago. So it was him that actually tried to get that cross in. So carried it out of play, so it'd be a goal kick to
It would
Uruguay.
be great if we could get a goal.
That would be nice.
It would be fantastic for all of us, for the crowd there, I mean for Russia, but just for the game itself.
Oh, I wonder which way it would go if there was one. Torreira, whose dad is working here for radio as a local reporter. He'll be in the press box watching his son, leading Russia by 2-0. Plays it forward up to the top of the centre circle, and Bentancur with a good incisive pass, getting it up to Vecino. His layoff wasn't so good. They got it again with Torreira. Suarez with a lovely dummy. His strike partner could return it to him.
There's the first bit of link-up between the two strikers. Suarez has gone for the first one, let it run, spun into the box, and he couldn't get the ball back, so he got blocked the ball back to him, but a nice little bit of link-up there.
More of that, please, from Uruguay. It's played forward by Kutupov, the centre-back, down the right side.
Combination play, as they call it.
Certainly they can do that, those two. We did see it in the last game, but only fleetingly. I'd like to see a little bit more of it. Zobnin, just past the centre circle, gets it out to that left side for Russia. And Miranchuk, who's trying to hold off Naitan Nandez. Well, he's gone to ground, there's no foul. Nandez is livid, the referee says play on, and Russia do exactly that. But Laxalt steps in to intercept. He's given it away to Fernandes. Zuba back to right back. Fernandes tries to get it out to the right side, to the left side. And I think they're probably saying to Fernandes, you needed to have a go yourself there. There was nothing to your left. And in the end, he just gave it away. Now that's the most adventurous we've seen from Russia since the interval.
This is funny. Trying to head the ball. I know he might have kicked him in the head, but he's put his head there. I don't think he didn't intentionally do it.
He's tried to trip him over with his head.
He's a little tough guy, Nandez, actually. I've been impressed with him. He gets about and does his job. He's that right side of midfield there.
It's Russia with the long ball up to Zhuba. You know he's going to win most of those. It's whether or not anyone can support him, and the frustration grows because he pulls back Torreira, and that'll be a free kick. Good chest trap, but then suddenly he finds himself surrounded, and Uruguay clear down the left-hand side. Lacks out infield to Moranchuk into the centre circle.
And again, you start to see poor passes and poor touches and things that when it's done at full speed they do it far better. You'd think if they could do it slowly, it doesn't. You've got to be doing it at full tilt and concentrating.
It'll be Fernandez to clear right side for Russia. Long ball over the top, straight to the Uruguayan captain, Godin.
I don't think you'll be getting Zhuba running in the channel for that one at this stage. Why would you?
Absolutely not. But 2 banks of 4 with Zhuba up top, and they're saying to Uruguay, I think you can pick some space between the lines, go ahead and try. And it's easier said than done when they don't have any real attacking intent at all, Russia. It's centre circle with Coates, forward to Bentancur, out to Cáceres down the right hand side. Nandez now inside to Bentancur again. Russia being disciplined, holding that shape. Uruguay just trying to tempt them to push up a little bit, but they're not keen to do that. And Godin joins the attack now. Right footed from him to Laxalt, left side. No room on the outside, so he goes back into Bentancur, tries to thread it through the centre, and that's where the patience ran out, and Russia just swatted away.
Yeah, I thought Nandez had made a great run there as well. I thought he might have just clipped it over the full-back's head, and he tried to play it down, play it narrow, play it into there where all the bodies are, and it's being blocked.
And then you're just relying on a mistake, really, aren't you, once it's a low ball through the middle. Godin on halfway. If you're just joining us, it's Talk Sport at the World Cup. Uruguay 2, Russia 0, as we begin the final round of group games. Uruguay coming forward, edge of the area. Cáceres lays it off. Bentancur shoots. It's blocked. He goes for the second ball. Excellent defending by Moranchuk to hold him off. And then in his keenness to try and get on the ball a third time, the young man has fouled Zobnin. That's a free kick to Russia.
Yeah, there's a shoulder charge there.
Zobnin tried to foul him, but the damage had already been done. But it stays 2-0. The red card earlier was for Igor Smolnikov for 2 identical yellow card challenges, and it really has changed the whole game. Russia have almost decided we'll take this and move on to the last 16, and you can't blame them.
It's not a competition anymore, is it?
No.
You know, Argentina winning 2-0, and I think both teams are happy with it. Don't get me wrong, Russia are not saying, oh, we're happy we're getting beat 2-0, but why make it any worse? They're not going to do.
Remember, later we'll see how Group B finishes, because Iran against Portugal is live here on TalkSport from 7, and then Spain-Morocco on TalkSport 2. Now they're going to make a change up front here, Russia, and Moranchuk, who's been supporting Zhuba, goes off, and it is an out-and-out forward coming on in Fedor Smolov of Krasnodar, who started the first game against Saudi Arabia, since found himself on the bench. But that's as much as the Russian coach can do. He's made all 3 changes. Interesting to see whether or not he actually goes up as a 2. Fernandez down the right-hand side, gets the return ball from Samedov. Gets the return again, Samedov from Kuzayev, edge of the penalty area. Russia looking to fashion something here. Smolov, who's just come on, looks for Zhuba, who was caught flat-footed, and Cáceres gets it away.
This is what Uruguay want. Oh,
now.
He's toe poked it with his left foot. He's tried to pass it and he's missed it.
And Suarez has gone over, there's no foul. An hour gone, Russia come forward down the left-hand side. It's played in field to Samedov. He goes out to the left, and there's a chance here because they've got both strikers in the centre. Can they play the cross in? It's hoiked too far yet again. Zhuba unhappy with the service. That time it was Zobnin who overhit it.
But I was making the point, they won they want Russia to come out and attack them and so they can break them, but Suarez there went to hit it, but he just toe poked it with his left foot first and he missed it completely.
Well, I think Georgian de Arrascaeta is going to come on.
It's a pity they don't need this result to go through. You know, the team with 10 men, because the team with 10 men, they will be having a right go at it. But, you know, they're both through, so it doesn't really matter. They'll continue to try and score, but with that, there's a coach getting the crowd going.
Fernandez gets it forward to Juba. Juba's dived in on Godin. And the referee's assistant on this near side has given the decision against the Russian centre-forward, who looks at the linesman and says, seriously, me? But it's gone against him. And you can see why when we watch the replay.
He doesn't agree with you. Or the coach.
Neither does the Russian coach. So, free kick.
I do think the defenders get in there. The two of them are getting there together. It's the defender that's gone down. I'm not so certain. You know, we said before about the defender in the box, where the striker would have got it, and that's another one the opposite way around. The defender's got that one.
Change here then. Benton Core, who was shown the yellow card there, and was immediately subbed. So his 21st birthday appearance comes to an end, and on in his place is the 24-year-old De Arrascaeta, who plays his club football with Cruzeiro in Brazil and has the honour of wearing the number 10 shirt for Uruguay, as worn by the iconic Diego Forlan.
Well, if he's done it for that reason, Gary, it's a good decision. Just take him off. Don't risk him getting booked again.
It's Uruguay coming forward down the right-hand side. Cáceres lays off to Nandez. Right-footed ball in field, and it's slid down the right channel. Suarez was hoping to get on the end of that from Nandez, but it was played in front of Luis Suarez, and that allowed Russia to get it away. He shows his frustration.
It was a poor ball. He's got to roll that across the front of everybody. They're all running towards the goal. The defender might put it in. The real poor ball.
Uruguay 2, Russia 0 here on your World Cup station Talk Sport. 63 gone. No change to the half-time score. In fact, it's been 2-0 since the 23rd minute of the game. And it's Laxalt down the left, who rolls it inside to De Arrascaeta. Intelligent ball from him to Cáceres. The right back resists the temptation to cross it. Plays it back to Nandez, edge of the D. He's poked it through. It's Cavani, who's surely offside. Well, the flag stayed down. There was a coming together with the defender, and there's no penalty. Instead, it's a free kick to Russia outside the box.
I thought he was offside, but he's not. No. And Nandez kept going. He was trying to get on the end of it.
Well, there was a challenge from Ignas Šebić on Cavani. I think Cavani thought he had more time than he really did. And that's just good defending, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he's stuck his leg out trying to block him, and he's tried to hold up. He's put his leg out to try and block the defender. Ignas Šebić, he's got in, good tackle.
Definitely needs a goal, Cavani. Not for any other reason. It's just that he hasn't done it in World Cups so far. El Matador, no denying his pedigree and his quality. His stats tell you everything.
What's great about VAR, they can't really complain now because they know it's there. Except Neymar could, of course, when he went down in the last game I saw him play, and he was quite clearly cheating.
Yep.
And
it went against him.
And he went against him, and he was still whinging to the keeper and everybody that he'd been fouled. You know, the whole world can see it wasn't one.
I think that one decision, Mick, actually turned a lot of people onto VAR because the referee looked at it and said, no, actually it's not a penalty, you've dived.
And when it happened, now it penalty. I thought the defender had caught him.
It's Russia down the left with Smolov. The third Russian substitute lays it off for Zobnin. Left side of the penalty area, there's the cross, it's behind Zuba. Fernandez, edge of the area, couldn't get the shot away because Laxalt was in his way. Tries to lay it off. Down the right for Semedo. And that's good defending from Uruguay. They prevented both the shot and the cross. Fernandez takes the throw to Semedo. Back to Mario Fernandez again. Nudges it back to Semedo. There's the cross this time, deep towards Zuba. Wins the header. No one there though, he just cushioned it down. Smolov was behind him and wasn't able to get the shot away. And then the ball's played up to the halfway line where Luis Suarez is bundled off the ball by Ignashevich.
Well, he wins his head. There's a man down, aren't there? Otherwise, they may have another midfield player up behind it, one at the edge of the box. He's certainly a threat. He's a big threat in the air. I know he's a big man, but he does it well as well. You know, sometimes they're not as good in the air as the size suggests. He is.
Lax out down the left for the Uruguayans, leading here by 2-0 on TalkSport. The other match in the group, still 1-0 to Egypt. That's live over on TalkSport 2 right now. And the 2 games in Group B coming up later across the TalkSport network. They kick off at 7. Iran-Portugal here on TalkSport. Spain-Morocco on TalkSport 2.
You've just seen that there, Gary. Nandez is trying to... sorry, on the attack. Nandez is trying to thread a ball there through a gap, but he couldn't get it. And I can't tell you how frustrating it is when a team's sitting in and you've got the 11 men, and I'll tell you, you're all feeling bad about it. You can't get yourself going. The coach is going balmy, the fans want you to get going, and it doesn't happen because the other team are not pressing you. And you need it to be a competition to play at your very best. And then you try and thread a ball, and of course it doesn't get there, and they're on the attack, and it just becomes a little bit end-to-end.
Teams do work in this on training, don't they? Attack against defence, and one man up, one man down.
10 men.
Doesn't make it any easier once it happens in a competition.
I say it becomes harder to score against them.
Yeah.
They need them up the pitch and attacking, and how many goals do you see you catch them on the break? Not when everybody's in their half.
Well, that's the midway point of the second half, with very little goal-mouth action since the break so far. Uruguay would love a third goal just to really cement the victory. Godin hoiking it goalwards from the halfway line. That tells you something about the frustration being felt by the Uruguayan players. He has actually gone for goal there, I fancy. With a chest, well, it's not even a chest, he's volleyed it full on the volley from halfway, and it's only landed 3 or 4 yards wide.
If he tells me he's gone for goal with that, that's outrageous.
He's 8 goals for his country has Diego Godin. This is his 120th cap. Still going strong at 32.
I'm just looking at Torreira there, the little sitter just stood right in front of Juba.
This is Cavani. He's run into the penalty area on his right foot, shoots. Doesn't get the curl into the far corner that he wanted. The ball went the other way, and he pounds the turf in frustration. Credit to Kutupov for preventing him getting that shot on target.
No, he didn't wrap his foot round it, did he? Never looked like doing it, actually. Very frustrated. He's not... you know, we said, you mentioned, you'd think the 2 lads up front would be thinking, 10 men, we might get some goals. It's actually been worse. They've had less play, they've had less chances.
Yep, absolutely right. Juba, again, penalised, again, angry with the referee, but he has just barged straight into the back of Godin there. And it was a good spot from the referee.
Godin's double cute though, let me tell you. He feels him and he falls away. He doesn't stand his ground and fight him and try and jump. He's just let he's bought it, you know. Very clever.
Brilliant centre-back, isn't he? And has been for many years. And it's a great partnership he has with Jimenez, much younger, who not playing today, but I'm sure he will play in the last 16. It's Fernandez for Russia, laying it inside. Could they get the shot away here with Zobnin? It's spooned up in the air. Down goes Juba, holding his face under the challenge of Godin. Referee happy for play to go on. Juba is still down, and now the referee will blow the whistle. And Russia are asking the question of the referee, was that a foul in the penalty area?
Well, I hope... No.
He catches him, but there's no way that's a foul. Yeah. And Zuba's being helped back to his feet by Godin, who's explaining what happened. Now, though...
Godin's saying, I threw my elbow, but I didn't mean to hit it in the face.
The VAR is looking at this, but I don't think he'll give a penalty for that.
Oh no, I would hope not.
They're in communication. Obviously, Cherchesov, the Russian coach, wants one. And he's made an elbow action to the 4th official to say, come on, that was a foul, but I don't think so. They've had a look at it, they've decided it's fine, and rightly so.
Well, the fact that Zuba's sort of jumping aggressively as well into him, if he just jumped straight up and he's not made any action to go to the ball, it will look worse. It's never a penalty.
19 minutes to play.
Unless, of course, you were Kyle Walker in the first game, because he didn't much more than that.
That's true.
Either.
That's very true. That was a harsh one, wasn't it?
No, it was.
Not that it mattered in the grand scheme of things. Fernandez, right-hand side for the Russians, who are in a tricky position here in terms of the game. They're going to finish second in the group. They'll take that. They don't know who they'll be playing. It's Fernandez down the right-hand side. Who's to say Iran won't shock Portugal? They gave Spain a very tough match in the last round of group games, and of course beat Morocco. It's not done and dusted by any means. Now,
I'm not a gambling man, Gary, but if you want to take any bets on that, I'll be more than happy.
I probably won't, to be fair. Christian Rodriguez is coming on here for Uruguay, and he'll be replacing Naitan Nandez. So that's a straight swap, one wide man for another. Christian Rodriguez, who plays in Uruguay actually for Penarol. It's another one, over 100 caps. This is cap number 108. They've got 5 players in the squad. Well, 6 now. Muslera's got to 100, who have over a century of caps. And he comes on to replace Nandez. So that's 2 changes made by Uruguay in the match. The ball goes straight to Rodriguez down the left. Further out to Laxalt, and back in turn to Godin.
He's
No
a little
pressing at all.
powerhouse, isn't he? Come on there. It's really squat.
No pressing from Russia, of course, as Uruguay pass it around the defence. Eventually it's just nudged back to the goalkeeper Muslera. Left-footed clearance. Oh, it's a poor one, and it's been picked up by Russia by Zobnin, and this is a chance for Zuba, and he shoots left-footed and gets it horribly wrong. Well, Muslera's only got himself to blame there. That was a horrible clearance from the goalkeeper.
There comes a time. He's done through now, and he pushes the Zuba, and he go and hit the target, and he makes a real hash of it. Doesn't wrap his foot round it at all. Never looked like scoring, actually. Once he coming on his left foot, never looked like scoring. For the goalkeeper, for as much as they want to keep playing, at some stage, you know, that's a bad pass to me. Just launch it up the pitch, get it up the pitch, and give out to your defender for giving you that pass.
Yep. So he hasn't had many chances, Zuba. That's certainly a sight of goal. Had that been on his right foot, as it was in the last game against Egypt, I'd have fancied him to...
He should have took it on the outside, right footed, just take it and have a shot, get it on target.
Yeah.
But the goalkeeper playing like that, you know, sometimes I think, oh, I don't want to launch it up the pitch, it looks stupid. Stupid is in the back of your net when you give it away.
Laxalt down the left, taken on by Suarez, who played it really without looking, and Rodriguez didn't have much chance there of getting on the ball, and it goes behind for a goal kick. It's not happening in the final third at all for Uruguay. Not that Tabarev, the coach, looking on. He's come out with his crutch. He's standing on the edge of his technical area looking on. I don't think he's too concerned, to be perfectly honest. He knows they're going to win this game and finish top of the group with maximum points. You can't ask for much more than that. They haven't been spectacular. 1-0 against Saudi Arabia, 1-0 against Egypt, 2-0 against Russia. If you win every game like that, you win the World Cup. Simple as that.
Yeah, you don't have to be spectacular, you have to win the games. And they were much better in the first half, of course they were. I mean, you know, the goals, we said about the free kick, we said about Ignashevich moving it and opening them completely for Suarez to score, and then a wicked deflection. I mean, if you know, I think Harry Kane's was a lucky deflection, then I think this one puts it pales in its shadow.
Suarez very deep, gets it out to the right hand side of Martin Cáceres. He plays it inside. Vecino to Cáceres again, deflected cross. The deflection makes it easier for Zobnin to get it away. And Russia have it just short of halfway with Smolov. Very spectacular dive from Smolov there and from Zuba. And one of those was a foul, I'm not sure which one, to be honest. Coates, I think, was penalised for the initial push.
Yeah, I thought they both were, actually. That certainly is.
the manner of Smolov's tumble didn't do him any favours, but anyway, a free kick has been given, and we have 14 minutes left here on TalkSport. Uruguay 2, Russia 0 in Group A. And the group set to be decided. It'll be Uruguay top on 9 points, Russia second on 6, and they will be facing the top 2 teams in Group B.
Just look at that clearance there of Godin. There's a wily old defender. He just comes across, puts it into the stand, doesn't try anything else. 2-0, keep it at 2-0.
Free kick to Uruguay in a defensive position because of a foul by Kazayev, and it'll be taken by the goalkeeper Akinfeyev away to our right hand side. But also a slight concern over a possible calf injury here for Torreira, just nursing his right calf. Certainly you would have thought there would be no point in taking any risks with any player when you've got one sub still to play in these conditions.
If it's a kick, it's not so bad, but he's felt a strain on it, or he's starting to tighten up, he's got to come off.
Challenged by Kazayev on Torreira. He's hobbled back up to his feet now, and
he does a great job, sat in front there.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
I'm saying even, you can see he's nowhere near the size of Zuber, but he just stands in front of him, he's a pest. Stops him moving, and between himself and the centre-back, they win the ball. And he's a tidy little footballer, keeps hold of the ball, keeps momentum going.
As I said earlier, his dad will be reporting on this match for radio. I'm sure he'll give him a verdict on his performance later. We all know broadcasters and journalists know better. Never afraid to give our opinions. 12 to play, and Uruguay cruising towards the top of the group here.
That's what you paid for, Gary.
Yeah.
Not that we in football always like it, but that's what you paid for.
It's Uruguay in possession on the halfway line, and played forward down the right hand side. Cáceres whips in a beauty of a cross. That one just misses Suarez on the near side, and it can't be kept in by Rodriguez down the left.
That's a great ball. I think Rodriguez should be attacking the far post. He should be coming in here. He scores. He gets a goal if he gets up the inside of the fullback of Fernandez. He stood out wide, get in the box, get inside that 6-yard box and score a goal. It's a brilliant cross.
Well, we haven't had too many of those, have we, in the course of the game? So Uruguay again down the left with De Arrascaeta. Has to settle for a throw-in as he tried to backheel it down the line for Edinson Cavani. It came off Semedo, and Laxalt will take the throw. It's 20 yards back from the corner flag. Gets it back from Luis Suarez. Not allowed to cross it on his left foot because of the attentions of Fernandez, who hooks it away.
He just wants to he's trying to get to the byline then and get a corner kick. He wants to kick it against him and get a corner.
Fernandez was having none of that. It's cleared down the line, and it's a Russia throw. And again, it'll be Fernandez himself to take it. Hurls it over the halfway line. Comes off Laxalt for another throw-in. Like rugby union here, they're just gaining territory down the flank. Fernandez, who rolls it right-footed into the midfield position. And the Russians will keep hold of the ball with Kutupov on halfway. Oh, a dreadful ball by Kutupov. He's played it square blind to Cavani. He's found Suarez. Suarez to Cavani again. Oh, that was the idea. He's played it in front of the PSG man. And still he can't get his goal. He's played it back.
Well, I was asking if they get on. Yeah. And then I'm thinking, well, maybe they do, but with the ball he gave him, maybe they don't, because...
That was an extraordinary giveaway.
Certain he's going to score. Shoot with your left foot here. Take the chance. I don't think Cavani expected that coming back to him.
No.
No way. No how.
Cavani's thinking, I wouldn't have crossed.
No.
Well, an extraordinary giveaway by Kutupov. I mean, a centre-back playing a square ball blind on the halfway line. Coach's nightmare. And they really should have wrapped up the game there, Uruguay.
Yeah, they should. Should have finished. He should have. Suarez should have shot. Yeah. He should have had a shot at goal. If he puts it across the keeper, Cavani might have got the tap in. Cavani never expected it being passed back to him.
We're in the last 10 minutes. Smolov heads for the byline, and it's Godin yet again who just steps across and ensures that there's no cross and no shot, and all there is a goal kick, which his goalkeeper Muslera will take. I wonder if he might have got the final touch there as he tried to usher it behind. That's certainly what they might be looking at here.
I don't think so.
No, he missed it. Yeah, goal kick.
I tell you, it was great when he thought he was going to go to the outside and he tried to come on the inside, and he still blocked the ball and blocked it onto the attacker.
One thing's for sure, Uruguay are not going to give away many goals in this tournament. They've got a great goalkeeper, they've got a wonderful centre-back pairing.
Well, even less if they stick these three defenders in the middle, because it means you've got three defenders in the middle, three midfield players in the middle. There's the block of six. You've got to go wide, and I think they don't mind them going wide because they can deal with them. They get crossing, and most teams actually want to come and spear you down the middle anyway.
Rodriguez shoots left-footed from 30 yards, spilled by Akinfeev. Cavani can't pick up the scraps, and it's swept behind for a corner. So good strike by Rodriguez, although it's straight at Akinfeev, who can only palm it, and the result is a corner. And it's only the second corner of the game for Uruguay.
Safety first, wasn't it, for the goalkeeper for Akinfeev, because if he tries anything else there, it's he could go right through his hands. Just get your hands together, stop it. You think he should catch it.
The fullback Kudryashov is down inside the penalty area, which is preventing Uruguay from taking their corner. And getting a look on our monitors at what happened. He played the shot in, Rodriguez, and then there was a coming together with Suarez on the far post. And Suarez got up, Kudryashov didn't. And it's the left ankle that's the problem. But he's back on his feet now. And hopefully for his sake, okay to continue with 7 minutes to play. It's Uruguay 2, Russia 0. You're listening to Talk Sport at the FIFA World Cup. Second corner for the South Americans. From the left-hand side, it'll be taken by Georgian de Arrascaeta. Right-footed in, swinging ball into a great area, and it was attacked by Cáceres, and you wonder how he didn't score.
He's thrown his head at it. Just lock your neck, must watch it. He turns his head, and it's the classic. You jump, just put your head on it. The pace of the ball will take it back. He's tried to generate power, and of course by the time you've moved your head, it's gone past you. How often do you see that?
Well, they've won it back very quickly in midfield, Uruguay, and Cavani has played it inside, but it's far too casual, and mopped back to Akinfeev. They've wasted some chances on the break here, Uruguay. Godin steps in to intercept that pass forward from Russia and lays it off to the right. We've got 6 minutes to play, that's all. And Uruguay cruising towards top spot in Group A. They would just love a third goal to wrap it up. As Vecino finds de Arrascaeta. On for Cáceres down the right, but he's overhit it and it's out for a throw.
It's amazing when the tempo goes out of the game, you get sloppy. It's just not the same.
It was very sloppy. Here's Zuba, and he tries to run forward down the left. He goes to ground, but there's no foul. Referee says play on because Russia still have the ball, and Smolov might take it on here. Gets the dead ball line, and Zuba was waiting for a tap in, but Muslera dived on the ball and intercepted his cross.
Muslera's done really well here, and he's tried to get a foul and he's come out of his way there, Zuba. But Smolov gets in here. He's read it brilliantly, the goalkeeper. There's somebody coming in to get it. I think it's Zuba. It's one of them, if he's come out and caught the cross, and he maybe could have done him at the near post.
Yes.
He tried to read, well he did, he read it really well.
Lax out down the left for Uruguay, crosses in, not a bad ball at all. It's Ignashevich who gets it away. But they've got a chance here with Cavani, right-hand side, back on his left foot, still on his left, and then it's deflected over, and he punches the air with sheer frustration because the goal just won't come for him.
It's just not happened, has it? Desperately get a goal, not happening.
I think Ignashevich just gets the block in here. Yes, he does.
It was a great block, wasn't it?
and it means that Uruguay have a third corner.
He was great feet there, and he's just chinked past them and set himself up for a shot. I think he was going in the bottom corner as well.
Well, yet again, there's shoving from the corner before it's taken, so the referee has to blow the whistle and issue a couple of tickings off. And there's also an injury problem for Kudryashov, who went down earlier, and I think he was grappling with Cavani. So finally the referee blows the whistle, and Bielascaeta can take the in-swinging corner kick. Oh, well, the goalkeeper was backpedaling. He's palmed it away as far as Luis Suarez, right-hand side of the area. He's tried to lay it off for Rodriguez. Poor layoff though, and Russia get it away.
The keeper's done well. That's dropping in the far post. Has he done well? I was in a bad position to start with, I'm not sure. But he made sure it didn't go in his net.
It certainly wasn't Bielascaeta's aim to score direct from the corner. There's a vicious curl on it.
Yeah, it was an in-swinger though, it might be. Stick it under the crossbar.
Yeah,
put some players underneath it. It's never a bad one if you get the corner kick right.
Certainly Uruguay will feel that they should have taken one of these chances that have come their way in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, the goalkeeper's decided there he's not going to try and pass it out. Well, we got 2 and a bit minutes of normal time, just get it to the pitch, keep it out of your own net.
Godin has jumped into the back of Juba, and this time the free kick does go Russia's way. Getting another look at that corner kick. It was certainly going to drop in, wasn't it?
It was.
So good bit of goalkeeping from Akinfeev to palm it away, and he's fortunate really that Suarez wasn't able to take advantage.
Yeah, I think the keeper, I think he was coming looking to try and go and get the ball initially. I think it was going to be floated up, and it was going over his head. He's had to shift his feet, and he's done well to keep it out.
Well, Russia get a goal here. Sets up an alarming last few minutes for Uruguay. They've got a free kick. Samedov, right-footed. Well, I don't believe what I'm seeing. For the third time, he has put it straight behind by overhitting it by a good 40 or 50%.
That is incredible. I thought, well, look at him, get hold of him as well. I thought we may well just get Torreira again in amongst him. He's just standing on his toes and being a pest. But an absolute dreadful free kick. We've said, already mentioned that, he's a specialist, and in the games before he's put him on right on the button. Not tonight.
I
think it's his free kick's probably some of the night for him.
Yeah, he got a flea in his ear from several teammates there. I mean, once shouldn't happen, twice is unforgivable, 3 times you're going to get a volley of abuse.
You get taken off him.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a foul by Juba. He's just clipped the back of Godin. Great battle that's been between those two over the course of the game.
Watch Godin here, watch. He's barely touched. He is so cute, it's untrue. He just feels his hand in his back and he goes over. The other fella, Joubert, wants to stand and fight.
Yeah.
He's wanted to show how strong he is. He's not cute enough.
All you have to do is just slightly check the run and wait for the contact.
Yeah.
You know you're right in front of the referee's assistant. He's going to give it every time.
Godin's been brilliant, he's a great defender, but he's cute as well with it.
Rodriguez, edge of the area, shoots! Oh, great angled shot. Super save from Akinfeev to touch it over the crossbar.
Wonderful save, wasn't it? You can see he's already given him a warning. Some power as well. And that's going right across him. That's a great save.
Oh, and he really hit that so sweetly. There's hardly any rotation on the air in the ball.
Oh, no, that's a great strike.
Very good save.
There'll be some question keeper going with his wrong hand. He kept it out of the net.
Godin said a great save, and in by Cavani! They've got the third goal from the resulting corner. Akinfeev will fume, having made the save to deny Rodriguez, but there was no arguing the second time. Edinson Cavani with a smile to light up the Samara Arena. He's got his goal at last. It's Uruguay 3, Russia 0.
Akinfeev doesn't deserve that, does he? He makes a great save, and he's being punished. They're just not defended. And he makes a good save from the initial header as well.
There's no stopping the second one. It's a good corner.
It's Godin as well.
Godin's initial header palmed out by Akinfeyev. He got great power on that, Godin, and then basically Suarez and Cavani both went for it, both looking to bag a goal right in front of the 6-yard area, and Cavani got there first, just sweeping it.
Magnificent header, the first one, and I have to say it's a terrific save. But you know, you're looking at Cavani, all the caps he's got, all the goals he's got, he's on the front foot, he's following it in Harry Kane-ish, and that's a compliment, by the way. And he gets his goal. Fantastic.
El Matador off the mark at this World Cup. His 43rd international goal. Got 10 in qualifying, more than anyone else in the South American qualifiers. And he certainly deserved that.
You get the goals from being on the move in the penalty area, not letting defenders pick you up. And it's actually the second one. It's not the first one. You see the headers come in, the keeper saved it, and he gets on the second one. Brilliant.
So we're into 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the game. Uruguay will top Group A with 3 wins from 3. Getting better, aren't they? 1-0, 1-0, and now 3-0. Still yet to concede. Russia down the left with Smolov, dispossessed by Cavani.
That might tell you why they're hard to play against. Cavani's just scored his goal, they're 3-0 up, and he's in the right back position tackling. That's brilliant.
Superb. Now Uruguay still keep the ball with De Arrascaeta. Now Cavani's on the right wing. They're quite happy just to keep it now. He knocks it back to Coates, and they know the job is well and truly done. They've known for quite some time, really, and it's been an accomplished display from Uruguay, and they'll be a team to watch for sure in this tournament. They won't be easily beaten. I think there's going to be a change here in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Going to be Maxi Gomez of Celta Vigo to replace Uruguay's 3rd goal scorer, Edinson Cavani.
Look at him on the move there, running forward. The two of them, Suarez and Cavani. And Cavani beats into it.
Gomez, who's often referred to in the Uruguayan press as being the new Suarez.
Wow, praise indeed.
He comes on, although he's not going to get much of a chance to show. He's only 21. He was very close to moving to China in December. Would have multiplied his wages by 10 if that had gone through. There was a work permit issue, so he stayed at Celta Vigo. There's a free kick here to Russia in the last minute of stoppage time.
He says 21.
Yeah.
He wants to be playing his football where he is at the moment.
In a competitive league,
and you can, he's going to get his riches anyway. And moving for that kind of money, he's playing the league he's in, learn his trade. He can do that when he's older.
Yeah, there was a row over the fee in the end with Celta Vigo. They ended up holding on to him. Now, is there a chance here for Russia right at the end to give their fans something to cheer? What's been a pretty miserable afternoon. No is the answer, because the free kick is played straight to Muslera, and he bowls it out overarm. This might be the last attack of the entire game. Suarez down the line for Christian Rodriguez. There's a deep ball to the far post. Can they get the cross back in? De Arrascaeta is there. It just hit him, really.
Rodriguez has done well since he's come in. He's had 2 shots on target. He's put some good crosses in. He looks a real handful. I know he's coming to a game with 10 men and everybody's shattered on the pitch, but he's done well.
Right-footed shot from Torreira. Tries his luck. That's surely going to be the end of the game. We've played 4.5 minutes of stoppage time. And there is the full-time whistle. Uruguay top Group A ahead of the hosts after a 3-0 thumping. They're yet to concede a goal in the tournament. Luis Suarez on target in the 10th minute with a crisply struck free kick. Cheryshev with the own goal after Laxalt's shot deflected in off him. And then right at the end, Edinson Cavani scoring from a corner after Godin's header was brilliantly saved. Thoroughly deserved. Russia have to lick their wounds. They were sent down to 10 men in the first half after 2 yellow card challenges from Smolnikov. They couldn't keep Uruguay at bay for the entire second half, but they're still through to the last 16. Now the two sides will wait to see who they will face in that round of 16. Full time, Uruguay 3, Russia 0.
Thanks very much, Gary, and they won't have long to wait to see who they do play, because the 2 games in Group B. Kick-off at 7 o'clock, so in just over 2 hours time, both of them here on the TalkSport network. Iran take on Portugal here on TalkSport from Mordovia's arena at 7 o'clock, and over on TalkSport 2 you can hear Spain against Morocco from Kaliningrad. Let me remind you about tomorrow as well. Kick-off at 7 o'clock, so 3 o'clock kickoffs between Australia and Peru, that's over on TalkSport 2, and the game between Denmark and France will be here on TalkSport. Then in the evening, 7 o'clock kickoffs, huge game here on TalkSport, Nigeria against Argentina, while Iceland and Croatia will be over on TalkSport 2 at 7 o'clock. That's all the football coming up for you this evening and all day tomorrow here on the TalkSport network, where it's time now to look at who's delivered today with Just Eat.
Delivery of the day on TalkSport with Just Eat, because the World Cup deserves a world-class takeaway. Just Eat! Put it on a plate!
It was a funny old game, of course, because Russia made themselves uncompetitive with their antics and their red card in the first half. So I'm suspecting that Mick McCarthy's going to choose somebody in the sky blue shirt for man of the match.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can't, certainly not from Russia. Akinfeyev, the goalkeeper, because he's done really well in the game. He's made some saves.
Well, he's a fine goalkeeper, and he certainly didn't deserve that third goal where he made two great saves and still got beaten.
Absolutely, it was terrific. But I can't give, and I don't think Uruguay, there's not been, well, Godin's been a standout, but they've won 3-0. They've had nothing to defend against, really. So I'm going to have to go for Suarez, who opened the scoring with his free kick, and he's just had a solid game. Although between him and Cavani, neither didn't have a bit of link-up play between them, a little bit towards the end. And I don't think there was a real standout performer, but he got the first goal and it set them on the way.
Thanks, Mick. More from Mick in a second, but that's who we think put in the delivery of the day with Just Eat, the app for all your takeaway needs. Order your takeaway this evening ahead of tonight's tasty encounters as Iran take on Portugal and Spain face Morocco.
Delivery of the day on TalkSport with Just Eat. Score yourself a stunning takeaway with our app tonight. Just Eat. Put it on a plate.
Well, Mick McCarthy, I don't need to tell you, there are very rarely days when international managers can say it all went to plan and I had a lovely relaxing afternoon. But I think for Oscar Tabarez, the manager of Uruguay, today was one of those.
Sorry,
Mick. I was just saying, I don't need to tell you, there are very few days for international managers where everything goes according to plan and you can have a nice relaxed afternoon. But for Oscar Tabarez, the Uruguay manager, today was one of those.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah. Some ex-international managers have had a nice afternoon watching it. But for him, yeah, he's everything. I said about Russia, everything went wrong for them. But I think Uruguay, everything went right for them. They're getting the free kick. Ignashevich pushes everybody out of the way and Suarez scores. Then they get a deflection that is going miles wide. It's nowhere near going into the goal. And they get a man sent off. Everything went right for one team and wrong for the other. But they're both through anyway. And as I said before, as bad burnt as scolded. Who are you getting? Spain or Portugal? The two of them look like, well, arguably the best two teams in the competition.
And you're right to say that it's hard to judge anything because of the misfortune and the self-inflicted wound of the red card that the Russians had in the first half, Mick. But we have to make some kind of judgment. And Uruguay, I would say, have got the group because they're the best side.
Yes, I would say that definitely, and they changed the shape of the team, which I'm saying I've not really got any idea. Gary mentioned that before, and he was quite right. They went to that 3-5-2, and they were much better at it. Certainly looked it suited them. They are the best team. They look like a very accomplished team. They're tough, That's what they are, and they're really professional. When it needs to be done, they go around. They might put a tackle in. They block people. I said about Godin when Big Zuba just gives him a little touch, he falls over. He gets his free kick. They're very, very clever, and they're good at winning games. And having got through, not conceded a goal, they'll be a threat.
Listen, Mick, thank you very, very much indeed for now. Let me just remind people that they're listening to World Cup Live here on TalkSport with me, Danny Kelly. Those are the matches from Group A. During the next hour, we'll be talking about the effects of those matches, the teams that these teams might come to meet. We'll be hearing from the Belgian camp. The Moose will be bringing us the latest of his World Cup reports as well. Plenty more to come as we build up to the second group of matches this evening. And in the other game in Group A, a very late goal in the first half for Saudi Arabia, and now a very late goal and probably a winner for Saudi Arabia in the second half. They were behind against Egypt to a Mohamed Salah goal. Their 45-year-old goalkeeper saved one penalty. Sorry, that's not right. Saudi Arabia missed a penalty, forgive me, saved by the Egyptian goalkeeper who's 45. Saudi Arabia then got an equaliser close to half time with a penalty, and they've got to win it, what looks like a winning goal in the extra time added on there in that game, which means that Egypt will finish bottom of the group. It's all over. Saudi Arabia 2, Egypt 1. Egypt go home without a single point. Saudi Arabia at least have a win to take home with them. And that's the end of Group A. Next here we'll be going through lots of more things that are happening at the World Cup in World Cup Live, and building up to 6 o'clock when the lads from Russia will take over, and they'll be building up to those big games in Group B. You won't miss a single kick, a single moment of the action, a single scintilla of the atmosphere right here on TalkSport.
The World Cup on TalkSport with Just Eat. Get on the app and order your takeaway in time for kickoff. You could even win yourself a breathtaking 2018 football plate, like this one. Just Eat. Put it on a plate, man.
What a game! One city, two bitter rivals, 9 yellow cards and a manager banished to the stands. The most heated derby day in decades. But Dave and his mates didn't see any of it. They were stuck watching an antique show.
This is one of the finest taxidermy pigeons I've seen.
Never miss a game with Virgin Media, the only place to get all the football on Sky Sports and BT Sport in one package. Search Virgin Media Football. Virgin Media, delivering awesome. Virgin Fibre areas only, terms apply.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals on a wide range of trade quality building products. In June, we've got a 6x5 foot close board fence panel for only £16.85 ex-VAT. Now that's a real deal. We've got even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse. For more information, see selcobw.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade go.
This is for a dad, a brother, a nan. This is for a friend, a neighbour, a colleague. This is for the thousands of people living with cancer. This summer, do something incredible and brave the shave for Macmillan Cancer Support. Get sponsored by friends and family to shave your hair, and you'll help Macmillan support even more people with cancer so they can live life as fully as they can. For everyone and every reason, by braving the shave, you'll be doing something amazing. Sign up today at bravetheshave.org.uk.
Check their reputation. Check their insurance. Check their background. Check how much time you're wasting on all of this when you could be watching the football instead. Or just go to checkertrade.com and do it all in one. Exactly. When you need someone to do a job around your home, checkertrade.com should be the first place you go. Visit checkertrade.com, where reputation matters.
Checkertrade, checkertrade.com.
Expect to build your own car deal online, anytime, at arnoldclark.com. Expect over 200 branches nationwide. Expect to choose from over 20,000 cars. And expect the UK's best used car deals, guaranteed.
Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing.
Expect the Arnold Clark experience. Visit arnoldclark.com.
The World Cup, the biggest stage for upsets, passion and opportunity. Your gut says to take advantage of every game, and your smarts say where to go. Because Betfair have had the best odds on the World Cup, so you always get the most from your bet. Betfair, where gut instinct meets smarts.
Data provided by TX Odds and BetRadar, based on Betfair Sportsbook average match odds over round since 12th of March 2018. Full terms at betfair.com, 18+, begambleaware.org.
If you're going on a road trip this summer, even if it's not as far as Russia, then stop off at QuickFit first. Our team will make sure your car's on top form with free checks on your tyres and brakes. We've got over 600 centres across the UK and most of them are open 7 days a week. Plus right now we've got 25% off selected top brand tyres. So head down to your local QuickFit today and drive away happy. At participating centres only, terms and conditions apply.
The 2018 FIFA World Cup. Russia. Every game, every goal, every day. Live on TalkSport.
The football in Russia on TalkSport with the Co-op. Snacks for the football and refreshments all round. Result. Football's better together at the Co-op.
Half a yard outside the box, just left of centre. Luis Suarez, right-footed, brilliant goal! Oh, he is the man, Luis Suarez, with his second goal of the tournament. He drilled it low into the far corner. It wasn't too close to goal for him, was it? 10th minute, Uruguay 1, Russia 0. As Torreira plays in the corner, just too deep for everyone, comes out to the edge of the penalty area. Oh, it's been drilled in! They've got a second goal! Well, I think it's an OG. It might be Kutupov that's deflected that in. Uruguay don't care. From the corner, it was played out to the edge of the penalty area. And the drive took a deflection. The Uruguay fans are in raptures here. It is Uruguay 2, Russia 0. Godin said a great save and in by Cavani. They've got the third goal from the resulting corner. Akinfeev will fume, having made the save to deny Rodriguez. But there was no arguing the second time. Edinson Cavani with a smile to light up the Samara Arena. He's got his goal at last. It's Uruguay 3, Russia 0.
Yeah, you're listening, or you've been listening to Uruguay against Russia on TalkSport with the Co-op. Grab some great deals on soft drinks, snacks and beer. Football's better together at the Co-op. Let's go back to our match summaриser, Mick McCarthy, former Republic of Ireland manager, of course, who's been watching that game between Uruguay and Russia. Mick, I want to open this out a little bit. There's been no goalless draws at this World Cup, which is great. I've enjoyed virtually every game, which is nice. But I'm old school enough to long for a bit of proper defending. All the teams seem really good now at finding ways to go at their opponents. But you're, of all people, you're